Now, joining me tonight to wrap up the political headlines is opinion editor at the Daily Telegraph, James Morrow. Welcome, James.
Great to be here, Sharri.
Excellent. Now, today, Labor says the ACCC energy report has been hijacked by zealots to justify building a new coal-fired power station. This came from Mark Butler. But then we hear that Bill Shorten hasn't even read the report. Have a look at him admitting this now.
Listen, the ACCC report's come out. It's a valuable addition. It's got to be studied very carefully.
Have you read the report?
Oh, I haven't yet read the report.
Do you plan on reading it?
Yes, but that's what... Listen...
You said you haven't read the report. Have you read the executive summary? Have you read the recommendations?
We've read some of the recommendations and we'll study it.
How can he oppose the recommendation to guarantee baseload dispatchable power without actually reading the report or all of the recommendations?
Oh, it's pretty amazing, Sharri. I mean, I think the Liberal Party is looking at that right now, thinking we don't have a lot of money in the bank right now, which is great because they've just produced a campaign ad for us come the next election. It's really, really shocking. There's no worse look for a minister or a prime minister or an opposition leader in this case to say, oh, well, I'm going to attack this, but I haven't done the homework. We saw some of this reminiscent of some of the, I support Julia Gillard. I don't know what she said, stuff that we remember from several years ago. This is just a terrible, terrible look for Bill Shorten. It's a little bit reminiscent, I think, of the story we had the other week where Andrew Constance, who's the New South Wales Transport Minister, admitted he hadn't read a report about flood mitigation with a project here in Sydney. But this is far, far worse. This is the #1 issue on people's minds right now, their energy, their power bills. And he's dismissing out of hand, his people are dismissing out of hand a report without having read it. It's ridiculous. It's a joke, Sharri.
Yeah, and it wasn't even the whole report. He admitted he hadn't read all of the recommendations, which is extraordinary as well.
Which you'd think you would go right to and just say, okay, well, but what are the things, that are the talking points? They're all right there. It's ridiculous.
No, it does look like the Turnbull government is going to adopt one of the key recommendations, which is to underwrite the baseload dispatchable power. Do you think this will, though, pose an additional headache for Josh Frydenberg, because it could mean that some of the state Labor premiers might not accept the National Energy Guarantee when it goes to COAG? Yeah,
of course it does. I mean, coal, as I think somebody in the package that we played leading into this says, it's kryptonite for a lot of people, especially for Labor states, especially for Labor politicians who are fighting off insurgent Greens to their left, who are still out there, even though we've seen them decline somewhat in recent elections and by-elections. So it's going to be a huge problem. But this is really the problem of competitive federalism, and Malcolm Turnbull knows this well. He knows what he's getting into. I mean, he'll remember this from when he was dealing with the Murray-Darling Basin Plan when he was Environment Minister 10 years ago under John Howard. This competitive federalism thing is always a trap for governments, and he'll know this, and Josh Frydenberg will know this, but I think it's important to come out and at least make the declaration to his base about coal that there will be support for that energy when there's been so much support for renewables and such in the past.